Hello friends, myself Shirin Panjwani. Today I'm gonna complete the regulatory system in Europe. In my earlier video, I explained about the responsibility and functions of EMA, pharmaceuticals law, scientific committees of EMA, and marketing authorization with one type of authorization, that is centralized procedure. In this video, I will be covering all other three types of authorization and variation with its type. So the contents are the second type of authorization, that is mutual recognition procedure, which is also known as MRP. Then what are the procedure leading to MRP? MRP steps involve. Third type of authorization, that is decentralized procedure, also known as DCP. Step involves in DCP. Then fourth is national procedure, advantages of national procedure, and the concept of variation and its type. Of marketing authorization. The second type is mutual recognition procedure. It is used in order to obtain marketing authorization in several member states where the medicinal product in question has received a marketing authorization in any member state at the time of application. Mutual recognition procedure is also known as MRP. In MRP, if your drug is already authorized in one member state, then only you can use this type of procedure. When MAH marketing authorization holder wishes to obtain marketing authorization for the same product. Now you may come across the word RMS and CMS. RMS is reference member state and CMS is concerned member state. You must understand both the terms. RMS is the member state that has already authorized the product will be your RMS. RMS is the member state which evaluates the marketing authorization applications dossier and prepare the assessment report on behalf of concerned member state in MRP and also in decentralized procedure. Concerned member state is the member state in which the RMS submit their evaluation of the product to other member state, which is concerned member state. This is the member state to whom the application means submitted. Procedure leading to MRP. MA, RMS and CMS, we will see how this each term take place in this procedure. After the first marketing authorization in the community is granted, the MA holder may request one or more member state to recognize an authorization granted by reference member state by submitting an application. Within 90 days of receipt of valid application, the RMS will provide the assessment report together with approved summary of product characterization, labeling and packaging leaflet to the concerned member state and the marketing authorization holder. Within 90 days of the receipt of this document, the CMS shall recognize the decision of the reference member state and approve summary of the product characterization, packaging leaflet and labeling by granting a marketing authorization with the harmonized summary of the product. The procedure how these three take place. Next is initiation by the marketing authorization holder. The granting of marketing authorization for a medicinal product in more than one member state, an applicant shall submit an application based on identical dossier in this member state, designating one member state act as in reference member state. The second is discussing with the reference member state. Before submitting the application under MRP, the marketing authorization holder must inform the RMS that such application is to be made. The MA holder is in any case advised to discuss in advance the proposed mutual recognition application with the reference member state. Such discussion would include whether the dossier and overall summary and overview should be updated to ensure that all information is supplied according to the current requirement, legal and technical aspects. Generic medicinal product. For generic application, the applicant will need to carefully consider the choice of the reference product for this product and should discuss the choice with the reference member state. The information about the reference medicinal product used in bioavailability or bioequivalence study will be given in assessment report of the reference member state in the confidential attachment stating the full qualitative and quantitative composition and finished product specification. Then updating the dossier if necessary. The dossier take account technical and scientific process and to introduce any change that may consider for the manufacture and control of medicinal product. Since the product is already authorized in one country, the procedure will not take much time. The steps involved in MRP. So, the applicant requests one or more CMS to mutually recognize the authorization granted by RMS. If the marketing authorization in the RMS is based on the oldest dossier format, it is an obligation to reformat the dossier before starting the MRP. The marketing authorization holder should submit an application to the component authority of the RMS and each of the CMS. Within 90 days of the receipt of the valid application by the RMS, the RMS provide the assessment report or if the necessary, updates an existing one and send it together with other documents to CMS and to the applicant. The RMS launched the clock after the receipt of the assessment report and validation of the application by each of the CMS. Within 90 days, the CMS recognized the decision of the RMS. 30 days after the close of the procedure, the component authority of the CMS adopt the decision and grant the marketing authorization. Therefore, at the end of the MRP with the positive agreement, finally a national marketing authorization will be issued in each of the CMS. Third type of marketing authorization is decentralized procedure. It is also known as DCP. Decentralized procedure is used in order to obtain marketing authorization in several member states where the medicinal product in question has not yet received in marketing authorization in any member state at the time of application. The procedure to be followed will depend upon whether it's member state or marketing authorization holder which initiates the decentralized procedure. You might wonder what is the difference between the MRP and DCP. MRP is product already authorized in one member state and DCP is the product is not authorized in any member state and does not want to use centralized procedure. The overview of decentralized procedure. In decentralized procedure, one of the proposed member state will ask the applicant company to act as a reference member state. Once RMS is ready, then they issue a draft assessment report. The other member state known as concerned member state. This report they give to CMS and they agree with the RMS evaluation or they further ask questions and raise the objection. Once this inquiry gets over, if all the issues are resolved and the application is successful, each member state will then issue a marketing authorization for that product permitting it to be marketed in their country. So what are the steps involved in DCP? The applicant should send an application to the component authority of each of the member states where there is an intent to obtain a marketing authorization. The applicant may designate a country to act as a reference member state. Selection of RMS sorry Selection of RMS depends on many considerations including workload, previous experience, interest and acceptance of the dossier by the RMS. The RMS will start the procedure after the application is determined to complete by both RMS and all the CMS. The RMS forward a preliminary assessment report on the dossier to CMS and the applicant within 70 days. The CMS is asked to give comments on the proposed national prescription status and to inform the RMS. On day 105, the RMS will forward all the comments to the applicant and stop the clock if necessary. Until the applicant prepares a response document, the RMS prepare a draft assessment report on day 120 and may close the procedure. If, if the agreement has been reached between the CMS and RMS. Otherwise, CMS has 90 days more to approve the draft assessment report and other documents. Component authorities of the RMS and CMS adopt a decision within 30 days after the acknowledgement of their agreement to the assessment report and other documents. At the end of the decentralized procedure with a positive agreement, a national marketing authorization will be issued in the RMS, each of the CMS. Type of marketing authorization is the national procedure. This procedure is for the sponsor who is planning to market the drug in one of the European countries. Each country has its own procedure for authorization, market approval for new drug. National procedure is like the other procedure, but in this case one member state is involved. The national procedure is specific to each country within EU has its own system for authorization a marketing application for a new drug. The sponsor can visit the regulatory agency website for each country in which he is interested to obtain the marketing approval. To obtain the marketing approval in a country, the applicant must be submitted to the component authority of the member state in its own language. The timeline for the procedure is 210 days without any stop-clock queries. The majorities of medicine available in EU were authorized at the national level. The advantages of national procedures are the fees are affordable even for small firms. It saves an translation cost to English or religious language. It provides a base for MRP where if sponsor plans to extend to other countries for marketing. Some of the medicine do not fall under this category and is regulated by EMA and following categories are orphan medicine product, all biotechnology based products, specifically AIDS, cancer, and neuro disorders. Next is the concept of variation regulation. The variation are nothing but the modification requested by the applicant after the grant of the marketing authorization. Variation in EU are regulated by the following regulations and guidelines. Administrative changes such as change in the address of the holder or number, etc. In quality changes, related changes such as manufacturer, controller of active substance, container closure, stability, and design space. In finished product, changes such as in description, composition, manufacturer, control of excipients, control of finished product, container closure, stability, or design space. In regulatory procedure also changes occur. Changes of marketing authorization resulting from other product safety, efficacy or pharmacovigilance. The types of variation in EU. In variation there are major two types, minor and major. In minor types, type 1A and type 1B. Type 1A, type 1A IN which is immediate notification and in major type 2. During the life cycle of the medicinal product, the modifications are repeatedly made to the dossier, which may be simply changes such as change in the manufacturer method, which comes to type 1 and also can be quite complex such as the application for the new indication where new clinical and preclinical data has to be present. This is the type 2 variation. We will see in detail. Type 1A verification is do and tell. Minor variation there are two types, type 1A IN which is immediate notification and type 1A. This type does not have serious impact on quality, safety and efficacy. They do not require prior approval before implementation. It directs approve or gives rejection. In type 1A, IN should be submitted within 2 weeks of implementation of the changes. In type 1A, should be submitted within 12 months after the implementation. Type 1 AIN examples are they change in the name of address of the marketing authorization holder or change in the name or the address of manufacturer of finished product, change in the imprint, bossing or other markings, change in the shape or the dimension of the pharmaceutical form, particularly immediate release tablet. Type 1A is for examples are deleting marketing sites such as API, FDF, batch release, etc. when mentioned in the dossier. Minor adjustment of the quality composition of finished product with respect to the excipients. Additional deletion or the replacement in component of flavoring agents, also known as coloring agents. These are the examples of type 1A, that is do and tell. Type 1B variation, that is tell, wait and do. The variation regulation defines a minor variation of type 1B as a variation which is neither a variation, type 1A variation, nor type 2 variation, nor an extension. The applicant must make the submission including all required supporting data and wait for the agency approval before implementing the change. This process follows a defined assessment of 30 days, but with the agency questions it may often take up to 3 months. Some of the examples of type 1B variations are shelf life extension, addition or replacement of specification parameter as a result of safety or quality issues, changes changes in storage condition, or the replacement of single excipients with the comparable excipients with the same functional group characterization at a similar level. The minor variations are generally considered to have either no impact on the quality of the product or have very low chance of the impact and hence the low risk. Consequently, level of the agency review, hence the time required to reduce with the minor variation may agency have document required that the well established and must be met before the variation are submitted. This lead to the fastest review time as the assessor has less need to request further data from applicant. Type of variation is type 2 variation, which may have significant impact on quality, safety and efficacy of the medicinal product. Type 2 variation require prior approval before implementation. 60 to 90-day time frame for the evaluation of the procedure. Examples of type 2 variations are additional of the alternate or new API DMF supplier, major change in the approved composition, change in the coating weight of the oral dosage form or change in the weight of capsule shell. Where major changes are notable alternation of the product registration are required. They are expected to have impact on product quality and efficacy with safety. As such, tightly controlled requirement in-depth assessment and review. The marketing authorization holder must demonstrate that the product will retain the same level of quality and efficacy. The assessment time for such variation are often much longer as required carefully reviewed submission and frequently make requests for additional data and answer to each question with concern. Hope you guys like my video. If you do, then give a big thumbs up and share it with everyone around you. If you haven't done so far, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care. Have a nice day.